Oh, hey, welcome to another episode of Goodnight Sleepyhead.
You know, when we say this, if you've noticed, we always kind of say, Goodnight Sleepyhead. Well, I've decided I'm just going to exaggerate it to where I don't even say words. I'm just going to go,
All right, so today I got an email from Rob's Rose.
Rob's Rose.
Some people know him as Rob Myers.
One of America's finest drummers.
Ever.
Buddy Rich, eat your heart out.
Yeah. So, Steven's going to read Rob's email for the show. He had a dream. Of course, this is what the show's about, our dream show.
It is?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought this was a show about the history of the American presidency.
Yeah. Well, so that's weird. He dreamed about George Washington.
I know.
No, that's good.
About how he gave birth to him.
So,
okay.
With his wooden teeth. All right, so this is the email from Rob Myers.
All right. Here we go.
Myers.
What day was this on, Jason? Do you recall?
I think he had it last night.
Oh, okay. So it's a brand new dream then.
Brand new.
Okay. All right. Well, Jason, I just had a dream. A nightmare, I guess. I don't have too many that I can ever remember. It's currently 4:10 a.m., so I am writing this one down now.
Wow. Good for you. Keeping the dream journal.
Yeah, that's what you got to do, because otherwise you go back to sleep, you won't remember it.
Exactly.
So I've done that a few times.
I know. I lost some good dreams there.
It's not scary, but more real life scary. Real life scary. That's interesting.
That's really scary.
Yeah. I was playing drums in my praise band at our church, which, by the way, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That is really awesome. We were putting on a concert when right in the middle of the show, someone came in and said, "My mother is in the back of the church and it's urgent." I jumped up from the kit and raced to the back of the church. My mom is in the back and looks dazed. All she said was the cord is on the table and it's on fire in the kitchen. So I was like, "What are you saying, Mom? Is the house on fire?" I raced out of the church, and my mom was walking, taking her sweet little time.
Yeah.
And yes, now the house that is on fire is the house that I grew up in as a child, which is only like 4 houses from the church. But we drove instead of ran.
Yeah. That's something we would do.
Yeah, that sounds like something out of our dreams.
Mm-hmm.
And another odd thing, in real life, that house actually did catch on fire. Ooh. And that happened in 2013.
That's weird.
So I guess this goes along with what you were saying about real life scary.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, definitely. Yeah. My parents bought a new house in town in 1992. So why, in my dream, their house was this old one is strange.
Well, maybe he had good memories.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And,
memories. Wait, what was that?
Chocolate candy coated memories of the way we were.
And then our Elvis, memories pressed between the pages of my mind.
Or as I like to sing, Kennedy pressed between the pages of my mind. John and Bob and Baby Boo.
I forgot about that.
Okay, let's get back to the let's see, where was I at here?
Sorry.
Okay, sorry. No, I kind of got off on a tangent there. Once I got there, I could see an orange extension cord going through the house. Must be what caught the house on fire. I could tell that only one room was not on fire, and I could see that I would be able to go in as the fire was not out of control just yet. So I cautiously walked into the room. I hoped I could get in to save some items. The room I got into was in Ellen and I's current house. And
That's his wife?
That's his wife. Let's see, where am I at? Now the house is on fire, and Ellen and I's current house are on opposite sides of the street. So, I walk into one house and find a gateway that goes through, and time and space that only leads to other houses in our town that I have lived in or known. LOL.
That's where his house was
Yeah.
morphing.
Yeah, exactly.
I've had a dream recently, something like that. Well, I'll share it on another episode.
Okay. Now this is funny. Right after saying that, the next sentence I'm going to read is, the weird doesn't stop there. As I come out of my current house's room and exit the back door, I don't come out of my parents' old house. I come out of my grandparents' old house, which is right next door to Ellen and I's current house. So I'm walking in and out of a house carrying items from Ellen and I's house, but the house that is on fire is my parents' old house. Oh my goodness. But when I now exit and enter the house, it's on my grandparents' Okay. Oh God. Oh. Okay, so I think it's agreed that we're going to have to do some editing.
Now I'm leaving it in. This is why people want to watch the show. I don't care about their dreams. I care about them laughing all the time.
Okay, Rob, I'm so sorry. I don't know what was so funny.
Well, one house, another house, another house, another house.
Okay, no offense, Rob. Seriously, I didn't mean to lose it like that. Okay, let's see. Where was we at? Okay. All right, let's back up a little bit.
You gotta read the same way then.
So I'm walking in and out of a house carrying items from Ellen and I's house, but the house that is on fire is my parents' old house. But when I now exit and enter my house, it's my grandparents' house. But once inside, it's my house, and all of the items are where they should be, and I'm able to get them out in the back
Door?
yard. So here's the rundown. House on fire. My parents' old house that they haven't lived in since 1992. In real life, it was burnt to the ground in 2013. I can only get in one room, and it's a room from Ellen and I's current house. When I come out of the house, it's now my grandparents' back door and backyard. So weird. After getting the things that I can carry out, I look back to the house and... what do you think he does? He wakes up.
Oh, yeah. I read
Tony
that part.
Soprano.
I forgot there. He ran over.
So I write this. Use it or just read it. I wanted to capture it here, as I just don't remember hardly any dreams. Your show inspired me to write this.
Ooh, we inspired somebody. That's cool.
Thanks, Jason. Now, what does this mean? I was playing drums in my praise band, and our church we were playing.
They copied and pasted twice there for some reason.
So, Rob, thank you very much for sharing that dream with us. And again, I offer my most humblest and sincere apologies for basically just losing it all at once right there. So that was a very interesting dream. And that's weird how the house would morph into your grandparents' house, and then you went through a whole bunch of houses that you had been in and had known. That's crazy.
It is crazy. And if you want to share your dreams, just write us, and we'll link down below, and we'll read them online.
We'll read them online.
We'll bust out laughing for no darn reason.
Let's see, it's spring break, and I lost it, and I haven't been around I haven't been at work today, so I don't know what that was all about.
Well, Steven works at a school.
So
You're not a student. You
no,
works at a school.
I am a teacher assistant. So.
We act like students sometimes.
We do, and some days I have good reason to break down in laughter just like that.
Well, yeah, good
but not today, so I don't know. It's really funny. So that was quite a dream, Rob. So sincerely, thank you for sharing that. And
thank you, Rob.
Appreciate you sharing that dream.
So today, though, Steven has a dream.
No, I don't.
Nope. Okay, thank you for watching. And
so actually,
we are goofy. We kind of started later, though.
I know, and this is just pure water too. So.
Mm-hmm. I don't drink water. So it's Steven.
All right.
What's this dream called?
Now, this dream is called The Podcast.
Ooh.
Now, for all of you, our regular viewers who do not know, Jason and I have a podcast on the iTunes.
On the iTunes.
The iTunes comes out every Wednesday, and please go and check that out.
What's that podcast called?
That podcast is called Chapman and Harwood's Goodnight Sleepyhead, Little Red Light Songs, Music Appreciation Podcast for people who appreciate music.
And if you don't have iTunes, if you have some other phone besides an iDevice, you can link down below. You can go to Podomatic.
Yes. So again, to all of our our Goodnight Sleepyhead Dream viewers, for those of you that do know about the podcast, thank you and keep listening. But if you are new to the show and don't know about the podcast, check it out. It's really cool. Jason and I, it's a music podcast, and we take a look at, we both pick a song each, and we feature those songs, and
what they mean to us, the history of the song.
Exactly. It's really cool. So
I like doing that too. So I'm glad we came about the same time we came up with this show, matter of fact.
Yeah, we did. We were actually just thinking of doing this show, and then I said something about, man, I should do a podcast. And then you said, I think I can make that happen. And I said, well, go on, Jason.
Did we make it happen?
We did make it happen.
We made it happen. It's gonna be a long episode. I'm sorry.
Let's see. What is it? We're already hitting 13:04. We haven't even got to the. Okay. All right. So yes, this is a dream that I had. It's actually two different dreams, but it was.
What?
It was two different dreams. What? So it was actually two different dreams.
They probably done tuned this out.
Okay. So anyways, it's two different dreams, but they're all connected. It was like part one and part two.
Oh. So you dreamed like the same night?
No.
Back to back? The day after?
The day
after. I'm sorry.
No, they weren't back to back. They were actually several days apart.
Wow.
Now, part one, which I'll read to you here. Did you pass gas?
No, you did.
Oh.
You said something like, and also you go,
oh. I'm sorry.
That's I would.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess we'll have to wait until this comes out so I can say, oh, yes, I remember saying that. Or either that or I'll go.
At least I heard it.
I don't know. So.
No, you made it with your mouth, not with your butt. So.
Oh, well, that's good. So, anyhow, the second part of the dream is actually, it's a little bit darker than the first part. Would you like to hear the dream?
Hold on. Eggo waffles. Eggo waffles. Eat it with your mouth, not your butt. I'm sorry. I don't know where that came from.
Eggo waffles.
Eat it with your mouth.
By the way, that is the sponsor for tonight's show is Eggo waffles. You eat them with your mouth, not with your butt.
Where'd that come from?
I don't know. But I am going to take a delicious drink of this.
Oh, man, we might need to take a break before the drink part. This is just water, I promise.
Yes, I know. That's what I don't get. I guess we're just feeling really good tonight.
All right.
Okay.
1, 2, 3. All right, go.
All right. This is part one of the podcast dream. This was on Tuesday, March the 3rd, 2015. And this, as I recall, the night before, I had laid down about 8 o'clock. I thought, I'll lay down for about an hour. I had planned to go to the Y at 9 o'clock and
good for you.
work out. And,
Good for you.
I was so tired, I laid down. And when I woke up, it was about 11:42.
Oh, bad for you. The Y's closed by then.
Yeah, they were. And I had to be at school the next day, so my sleep schedule was just screwball for the rest of the night. But anyhow, every night when I go to bed, I always I listen to our podcasts. I listen to our podcasts because I enjoy them. I almost have some of them memorized, but they're fun to listen to.
Yes,
I enjoy listening to the music, and I like to hear what you and I got to say about them. But now this is what happened. In my dream, these podcasts somehow made their way into my dream. And what happened was, this was the craziest thing. I was half asleep and half awake for me to hear word for word what we were saying in the music.
That's something like that.
Yeah, it's crazy because
I can relate.
I was not fully asleep. I don't think I couldn't have been to.
Could have been lucid dreaming, controlling your dream, kind of partially, but you're listening.
Lucy.
Lucid.
Oh, lucid.
Lucid. You never heard that?
I've heard that, but I guess I don't really know what that means.
It's just that's where you have control of your dreams.
Oh. Okay, well maybe so. I don't know.
Lucid dreams. I don't like that show, by the way.
Well, I'm not. I don't either. I was thinking of Lucy Van Pelt actually, but
from Peanuts.
Yeah. But okay. Well, anyhow, this was a very unusual dream. Half awake, half asleep, as I had stated. Now, in this dream, you and I were in a diner, kind of like, I don't know. Wasn't there a TV show about a diner or something?
Alice was about Mel's Diner.
Exactly. It kind of reminded you that you and I, and we were sitting at the bar. Yeah. And we were facing the north, as I recall.
Okay.
So we were facing the north. And in this dream, episode 2 and episode 3 of the podcast were the ones that we were hosting. And
episode 2 and 3?
Yes.
Okay.
So I'll tell you some of the songs. And I heard in my dream, and maybe this lucid dreaming thing, was After the Love Is Gone by Earth, Wind & Fire, Daytime Friends by Kenny Rogers, and then The Rapper by the Jaggers. Yeah. And those are 3 of the songs that we covered in episode 2 and 3 of the podcast. Mm-hmm. But for whatever reason, we did not cover He Was a Friend of Mine by the Byrds.
Oh. No.
It was replaced by this disco song by Frankie Valli.
No.
So I don't know where that came from. Now,
wait. Now, how would you, if you're dreaming, we were hosting the podcast at the diner, and then you heard the songs in your dream? Somebody was playing disco somewhere?
I don't know. It wasn't on the podcast.
And those songs from the Byrds and Frankie Valli are totally different songs.
I know.
That's weird.
I know. It was.
That's weird.
I don't know where that came from. I have no idea. But anyhow, we had a guest host.
I forgive you.
That's okay. Thank you. I need forgiveness when it comes to that because disco is hell. My apologies to the disco fans out there. We had a guest host on the show with us, one of the teachers from the school that I work with, that I work at.
Yeah.
And I won't use her name just for the sake of anonymity.
Yeah.
But anyways, this one teacher.
We'll call her Lucy.
Okay. We'll call her Lucy. Mm-hmm. This teacher, Lucy, was with us at Hayes. This teacher from Hayes, who we're going to call Lucy, was the guest host in the dream. She was sitting at this bar with us in this diner, kind of a mom and pop sort of diner. But here's what's weird. Everything that I said in the podcast, she said in the dream. So I just sat there and didn't say anything. So if you listen to episode 2 and 3, everything that I am saying, Lucy said.
Wow.
And I just sat there.
That's weird.
I know. It was crazy.
So you could hear the whole girl voice and everything? Lucy's voice?
Yeah.
But what you said.
It was my words, but it was Lucy's voice.
But so she wasn't talking and it was your voice, though.
No, she was talking, but she was
with
saying,
her voice.
Yes.
Okay.
It was her voice saying the exact same things that I said on the podcast.
That's weird.
I know, it was very weird. Now, as I recall, we were facing the west. You were on the west end. Lucy was in the middle, and I was on the east end. That really doesn't matter, but it's it's interesting. It just kind of gives you another sense of the setting
Yes.
and the atmosphere
Yes.
of what was going on. It was really strange. And episodes 2 and 3 actually had been combined into one long episode. So they weren't 30-minute episodes. It was just all one big long episode.
Maybe this is podcast the movie.
Podcast the movie. I'm starting to think so. Now, all of a sudden something really strange happened. Everything just went poof, and it was just I was in a totally different place. Now, episode 3, in which we covered After the Love Is Gone by Earth, Wind, and Fire, took place in this strange combination of a restaurant, a hospital, and a mall. I was in the hospital area, and there was a male nurse who I somehow knew worked there. And he was talking about the Boogie Down song by Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Because I included
Remove
that.
the shoes.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a really cool song. How'd that go? Okay. That's a really cool song by Earth, Wind, and Fire. Anyways, he knew that song, and he was talking to me about it. But he was saying everything that you were saying.
That I saw it on HBO when I was a kid.
Everything that you said.
And then I sang it on the podcast.
Everything that you said, he was saying. And then right after that, your song, Daytime Friends by Kenny Rogers, started to play.
Oh, yeah?
And he didn't say anything about that. Neither did I. And then, now there is let's see here. Oh, there is a part in one of the podcasts, I believe it's the very end of episode 3, in which I talk about how when I was a little kid, my dad used to film my little music shows, which I really did say that. And when I was little, my dad actually did tape my music shows.
That's cool.
And on the podcast, when I said that, you responded with that you too made music shows as a kid, and your dad Eddie used to film them for you.
No, you never did.
I know, which that never happened at all. And then everything completely flip-flopped.
What happened?
It flip-flopped again. All of a sudden, I was playing piano at this restaurant in the mall, and they really liked my playing.
Well, everyone does.
Yeah, well, thank you. The management was even considering hiring me to play on Friday nights.
Ooh.
However, that would have been good because we couldn't do this on
Oh, that's true. We did
But it was just a dream. And then all of a sudden, a friend of mine who helped me get through first 2 semesters of algebra in college appeared, and she was a waitress. And she asked me if I wanted a Diet Coke. And I said yes. And then I asked if I could try some Chinese rice wine.
This is the weirdest dream I ever heard from you, man.
She asked me if I wanted a Diet Coke. Yes, but I'd like to try some Chinese rice wine. Oh, throwback to MASH right there. That episode from the 5th season whenever they had the North Korean doctor and he said, maybe you can come to my country and try some Chinese rice wine.
There you go.
Okay, now, part 2.
Oh, my God. Wow.
It continued. Now, this was on Sunday, March 8th.
Mm-hmm.
The dream continued. Now, in the second part of the dream, you and I were on-air personalities, and our podcast was now a live 24-hour radio program.
Oh, God.
Nationally syndicated.
We did it for 24 hours?
Yeah.
I mean, like, literally live, or was it recorded live?
It was live. We did it all day long. All night long.
We must have got paid for some pretty good damn money.
I'm sure we did. Now, on the show, we played music and discussed it just like we do on the podcast, but there were off and on news reports throughout the day.
Like real radio.
Right, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
More news and less Nessman.
WKRP.
Yeah. What was it? News beacon of the Ohio Valley. But anyhow, now, I don't really recall when these news broadcasts occurred. They weren't hourly. Just kind of, they were sporadic. Yeah, just at weird times, you know. We could all of a sudden have a news break at like, I don't know, 4:51 or something. Really strange time.
Yeah, that's
now,
not right.
our studio, I know, our studio was in Hastings.
The music store?
The music store. Where I worked at for 5 years. Do you remember before they remodeled the old Hastings? You remember how the book department kind of looked? Right when you walked in, it was on the Let's see, it was on the north side. There was several big open windows.
Oh, yeah.
And that used to be where they had music years ago, but it was books when I started working there.
Yeah.
So, and the studio was in the old book department, as it looked before the 2006 remodel. And as I recall, the bookshelves were stacked with books. Doesn't make any sense. Reading my notes here. Well, that's not even important. Okay, on this particular day that Jason and I were hosting our program, there was a series of coast-to-coast race riots going on.
Yeah, that's not cool.
And that might have been a little subconscious thing because there is a lot of that going on in parts of the country right now.
Unfortunately.
But there were these race riots, and they broke out all throughout the U.S., and throughout the day, we covered the story.
Ooh, wow.
Because this was a serious deal. It was a very serious situation that kind of locked down America. It got that bad. And people in certain areas were urged not to leave their homes, as I recall. And I think at some point you and I were probably on the air reading these announcements saying, do not leave your homes.
Wow, this is getting scary now.
It is. I said it gets a little dark. Now, as we were covering this, we decided to ban certain music that we thought might be a little too provocative.
Oh, boy. Here we go.
Now,
this is the clincher,
it's going to be. We're getting there. Now, in 2001, there was it was called the Clear Channel Memorandum, which was a list of songs that were deemed lyrically questionable. This list came out shortly after 9/11 and was not necessarily banning certain songs, but it suggested that certain songs might not want to be played in the wake of the tragedy. And you get on Wikipedia, you can access that list. I think Great Balls of Fire was on there.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
Well, I don't know. Great Balls of Fire?
Oh, no. All right.
Maybe.
Gotcha.
I don't know. But check that out. That's really interesting. Now, I even remember saying, I even remember saying at one point that we needed to play Abraham, Martin, and John during this time.
Very good song.
However, I never specified whose version we should play.
Oh, good guy.
And it was probably Dion's.
I hope it's not Leonard Nimoy's or William Shatner.
Well, I don't think, I just said that we needed to play it, but I never heard any version, so
okay.
I'm assuming it was Dion's.
Gotcha.
Now, then I even suggested that we needed to play a song that Ray Charles recorded called There'll Be No Peace Without All Men as One.
I never heard of that, but that sounds cool.
Yeah. Now, we played it.
But
it sounded absolutely nothing like the actual song sounds.
Well, do you know what it was?
I just remember it was in the key of C.
Oh, wow.
And Ray, the song that Ray did is actually in the C sharp. That track, by the way, is off of the 1972 album A Message from the People.
Yeah.
But it sounded nothing like the song. Now,
Oh, boy.
at this point, Jason says, I have a perfect piece of music to play during this time.
I don't know. I don't think I want to know. I don't want to know what I did. No, I'm just kidding.
Jason
Here's
says,
the clincher.
I have a perfect piece of music to play during this uncertain time. It's called The Rapper by the Jaggers.
That's a horrible song. It's about some guy that's stalking a woman, pretty much.
And then you played it.
Oh, my God.
And again, I must have been half awake, lucid dreaming, because that was Jason's second song from episode 2. That was Jason covered that song. And then something very odd happened after that.
That's odd already?
I know. But then at one point, this older gentleman who worked in the book department, he kind of looked like William H. Macy with a mustache. You know William H. Macy, the actor? He was in I think he was in the third Jurassic Park or...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, if you saw him, you'd recognize him. He looks older and he has a mustache, and then all of a sudden he suggests that we need to play "Remembering the Rain" by Bill Evans.
That's your song.
Yeah, that was my song from the first podcast we did back in January. And shortly after that, I woke up, and that was the podcast dreams.
Oh my gosh, those are crazy. Those are so funny though.
Oh, I knew you'd get a kick out of them. That's why I had to tell you these today.
And I had to play the rapper. Huh?
Yeah, and that was you thought that would be the most perfect, appropriate piece during the time of this race rioting was the rapper by the Jaggers.
I'll put a link down below if you don't know what song that is.
Yeah.
Because the YouTube is all really touchy-feely about copyright music now.
That's true.
But I'll put the link down below about that song. Yeah, that's not a very appropriate song for the race ride.
I thought it was too. And here I was suggesting Abraham, Martin, and John, and there'll be no peace without all men as one. And even the William H. Macy guy wanted to play "Remembering the Rain," which is an instrumental. It's a piano solo. It has it's a beautiful piece, but it's not meaningful to racial relations. And then you wanted to play the rapper.
That's so fun. All right. Well, I really, really want to thank you for that. Dream.
You're welcome.
I needed that. That's crazy. First it was Rob's dream, which we started laughing. Then your dream was hilarious. So those were good episodes. Those were good dreams.
Thank you. And Rob, again, thank you for sharing your dream with us. And again, my apologies for losing it.
So, if you want to get a hold of us, just check the link down below. And just rate, comment, subscribe. We love hearing from you guys.
Yes. Keep those comments coming in, people, because we love them.
Well, Matt Wamba writes every episode.
Yes, he does.
Stooge, Jamie Evans.
Sean Henry does.
Sean Henry. Von Awesome. It's not the great. It's Von Awesome the first. I've just been misreading his name forever.
Wow.
But it's Von Awesome the first.
Von Awesome
But
the
he's
first.
still great.
Is he a baron or something?
I think he is.
Okay.
Yeah,
Just wondered.
So, all right, guys. Thanks for watching.
Nobody needs a picture of a man stoned away in a casket. Nobody needs a picture of a man stoned away in a casket.